Okay, hello and welcome everybody to a Super Mario Kart 150cc tournament match. We are in losers round 3. This is last chance saloon for Dan_H and Jarm0u. The winner will go on to face the winner, myself and Bowser Kart, and the loser will be eliminated from the tournament. For anybody who's not been watching the Super Mario Kart tournament so far, this is played GP, real-time attack speedruns at 150cc. It's a best of 5 cups, so fastest person on any particular cup wins a star. First to get 3 stars wins the match. The lower seeded player, which in this round is Dan_H, had the ability to push the cup back to be played 4th, and I believe he's pushed back Flower Cup.
Yeah, Flower's pushed back.
Yep, and Sophie's had first choice of cup and has gone with Mushroom. So I think we're ready. So those guys can start whenever. I'm not sure who's managing the chat. Is that going to be Karen?
I'll look after the countdowns.
Okay, you're going to do the countdown. So I'm Jarm0u. I'm joined on comms by McNuggets, Paul O'Kelly, the Irish champion of SMK.
Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are.
So this hopefully will be a very close match. These are two very good players, very similarly ranked in terms of all cups times on SRC. I'd probably give a slight favoritism to Jarm0u, simply because she's so ultra consistent. The first cup up is going to be Mushroom Cup, so this is by far the easiest cup. You don't normally see too many mistakes, so it could come down to who gets that feather on Bowser Castle.
Yeah, well, the countdown now is done in chat, and we should be ready to see 2 players going for it now in a few seconds.
So do you have any predictions on what you think the scores might be?
I think this will probably be 3-1 to Jarm0u.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
I'm thinking Dan will probably win special. But I think we're going to see a topsy-turvy match with the odd mistake here or there, so it'll be very, very interesting.
So Dan is very famous for saying that the zoom start is incredibly easy in 150cc NTSC because you have a visual cue. So I expect to see Dan getting every single zoom start. And for any that he fails, I expect him to live stream his push-ups at the end.
KVD in chat there is asking how many recalibrations are allowed. I actually don't think I'll need a recalibration. I think it'll just, my prediction will come true.
I reserve the right to recalibrate my prediction at any point in time. I think I can have at least 5 recalibrations. So,
looks like Sophie's about 2 seconds ahead on the in-game time there.
I'd say more like 3 or 4 actually.
On this lap, yeah, she was about 2 to 2.5 coming over the line on the last lap.
Yeah, she made up an extra second there. So anything sub 50 is very good. Most of the players left in the tournament now will be looking to try and get sub 50 on MC1. Some of the more elite players might be looking for sub 49, but to be honest, losing 2 or 3 seconds on one track is not going to be the deal breaker in any of these cups. And there we see
Sophie missing zoom,
the zoom, and also not getting the push from behind from any of the CPU characters. So if you get the instant push from behind, you only lose about 1.5 seconds or so. If you miss the push from behind and have to accelerate back up to speed yourself, you're looking at more like a 3-second loss. So all the time pretty much that she gained on MC1 has now been handed back.
Dan had a bit of slowdown there previous lap coming out of the first corner boosts.
Yeah, so I would expect Dan to make slightly more mistakes than Jarm0u, simply because Jarm0u just doesn't really make mistakes. Though we will see her in the other cups playing with Mario. She's more used to playing with Mario, so she might be more likely to make errors with Bowser than she would with Mario.
Ooh.
Yeah. But she seems to be very clean, though she probably won't be happy with this DP1 time, but a lot of the additional time she's got was because of the missing start. And she still made
because of
2
the
seconds down.
Yeah, Dan made a big error there on the last lap. Got his line completely wrong into the first boost and took about maybe 3.5 seconds off himself there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you hit a wall, you can kind of jump just before you hit it and cancel off of it and bounce off and lose very little time. Sometimes you hit the wall, you dead stop and you're facing kind of the wrong way and have to maneuver yourself back into line. Those are the ones you really want to avoid. You see that quite often on some of the Mario Circuit tracks, like Mario Circuit 3, Mario Circuit 4. Ooh, down going for the platform jump and missing it. No, this isn't the easiest platform jump in the game.
It's the second easiest.
Now that is unusual by Jarm0u. Wow, both of the players are having absolute horrendous Ghost Valley 1 at the moment.
Well,
Dan picks up the star.
If Dan didn't get hit by Mario there, he was going to get hit by his own green shell anyway. It was literally ricocheting for a shell piece straight off.
So on most tracks you don't want to see a star because it's so much harder to drive. On Ghost Valley 1 it's not too bad because it's mostly long straights, so all you have to do is kind of nurse it around the corners a little and keep it pointed in the right direction. You don't want a star on a twisty turny track with like no barriers on the edge. Like if you get a star on Rainbow Road, you do not use it.
You're straight off if you try.
So that's another 10 seconds picked up by Jarm0u. So in terms of in-game time, she's about 16 seconds or so ahead of Dan at the moment.
Fairly close to that, alright.
So there is going to be a slight discrepancy between these two players in-game and real-time game. Simply because Jarm0u's playing on a switched SNES, which runs at a slightly slower frame rate than a native NTSC SNES. So she has a PAL Super Nintendo which has been modified to play NTSC games, but it does so at a slightly lower frame rate. So over the course of a cup, she's actually handicapping herself by about 4 seconds. So even though she's 16 seconds ahead in game time, it's probably only really going to equate to about a 12-second lead in terms of real time.
Is it possible to go the other way on that, to convert the NTSC console to run PAL?
Yes, but I don't know anyone who's done it. I mean, FF probably could, but the reason why like converted PAL consoles are allowed is because they're slower. If an NTSC console was converted to run PAL and it ran PAL faster than a native PAL console, then it would be banned.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm kind of curious about. Would it run faster, being the opposite?
Yeah, I don't know about NTSC like 50 hertz modes. The reason why PAL runs is because there is a PAL 60 mode.
Better for Dan, but
it's too late.
The long boost.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that feather's the backup feather is kind of very risky for the time save it has, especially compared to the big feather if you got it on laps 1 to 4.
To I am Raylite in chat there. Even after this tournament, we may have a bit of a short break, but we will be back with other tournaments with all luck.
Yeah, and there are other Super Mario Kart things happening outside of this tournament. Next weekend, there's the American Super Mario Kart Championships happening in Monroe, Louisiana. Those will be streamed on Twitch. I'm not entirely sure which channel it is, but if you head over into the Mario Kart Discord, you will see a fair bit of chat about it in there. Okay, there is no link to the Discord on the hashtag SMK, but I'm sure some of the lovely people in chat can point you in the right direction of where to go.
Well, there's 3 links down in the bottom right of the screen there. You've got MarioKartPlayers.com/SMK. There's forum, there's all news about Super Mario Kart community, also all other Mario Kart games as well. So
Sophie takes Mushroom Cup with a 7:45. It's kind of a fairly standard time now for Mushroom Cup in this tournament. 7:45 is probably just as likely to win your Mushroom Cup as it is lose you at this stage. And I think going forwards, Jarm0u will probably be looking to get more into the 7:30 ranges than the 7:45s. But today, 7:45 was enough, and Jarm0u takes a 1-0 lead.
it looked like about an 8:13 there for Dan, who won't be happy with that.
So Dan, having lost the first cup, will have choice of which cup to play second. Flower Cup's already been pushed back to last, so his choice is between Star and Special. And I would expect Dan to choose Special.
No, he's picked Star, it looks like.
He's gone Star. Okay. I know he likes the Special Cup. Maybe he's just saving it to when he really needs it. So what we see now is that the players are setting their menu. So if you go into a cup and then quit out of it, the game remembers which cup you've selected, so that when you do go, as soon as you hit the timer, you can just mash the yellow button. I think that's B on the controller. And they'll go through all the selections all the way through to the cup, select the right cup and start you off. Just means you don't have to think about anything as you go. If you'd watched any of the very early rounds or the showcase matches, you would have probably seen people selecting the wrong cups accidentally, which is one reason why a lot of people have gone for the pre-selecting of cups. Okay, so it looks like we've had the countdown in chat, so the players should be going on stream in about 20 seconds or so. Any prediction?
With the one press all the way through, it stops errors, because it's very, very easy to when you're trying to rush through to select the wrong cup, and by doing that you lose so much time. So we're just letting players to prep just to press one button all the way through. So much easier.
The only one you don't need to do that for is Mushroom Cup. If you just reset your console, it'll be absolutely fine and it'll be set up to go on Mushroom.
Yeah, it looks like Dan. Now they both would have started in reality at the same time, but the way things are, he's about 4 seconds out of sync. So we're going to need to get this synced up if possible. So I'll ask, can we get a resync?
Okay, so Cooper Beach 1, it's a fairly straightforward track. All you do is turn right occasionally and you're at the end of it.
And Brown and KVD corner.
The just turn right occasionally is a vast oversimplification. There's all sorts of mechanics which the players are using, which enable them to keep full speed. Ordinarily, if you drive through the shallow water, you would lose speed. What these players are doing is a combination of boosting and water sliding. So to water slide, basically you hop in at an angle into the water, and if you're kind of turning and sliding through the water, you don't lose speed until your kart straightens back up again. And that will get you through most of the water patches on this track. The big water patch you have to combine, or it's more optimal to combine a boost into a water slide. For people that don't know, boosting is in this game. So what we call mini turbos in the later Mario Karts, where you see like the coloured smoke off the back of the kart and you get that kind of speed boost, that is in this game. However, there is no colour to indicate that you've generated a boost. All you get is a slight raising in the engine pitch, which indicates you're in a boost.
We'd have failed long boost attempt there by Dan. I
think pretty much everybody who's attempted that long boost in this tournament has failed it so far.
Yeah, the NTSC time is quite awkward. He's gone out to the opposite side of the wall. More successful this time.
I would always, anybody tempted to go for that long boost, unless your name is Carol, go on the outside wall. It is 100 times easier, and it only loses you a couple of tenths of a second to set it up. On the inside wall, you'll probably fail it more times than you'll succeed. On the outside wall, you probably should be getting it 90% of the time at least. Now that doesn't mean to say it's easy to steer the long boost. Getting the long boost is the easy part, steering it is the more difficult.
Okay, coming into the last lap there, Dan has a 3-second lead adjusted for
I don't know what he's doing
the
at the
sync of
finish
the
line
players.
though. I mean, that was a horrendous finish for Dan.
Possibly he lost a bit of time there.
Yeah, I mean, he decided not to drive over the finish line, but
3
spin
seconds, yeah, it
around.
could be. This
Yeah,
actually could be very level here, Mal. This could be very level.
So Dan's screen transitioned at about 317. Jarm0u's at 3. Yeah, it's about half a second in it. So Vanilla Lake 1, this is just a very simple track where you just occasionally turn right. And very much like Cooper Beach 1, there is tech involved in being able to turn right and keep speed. Very similar to the water slide. We have a very inventively named snow slide. And it's pretty much exactly the same mechanics, where if you jump and turn into the snow, you don't lose speed until your kart straightens back up again. So if you're only in the snow when you're turning, you're absolutely fine.
I think we have a slight freeze there from Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie has occasional internet issues, which causes her the stream to kind of drop once per cup. It should be coming back up again, probably in about 10 to 15 seconds. So we'll probably see her jump from about 20 seconds in to having finished the cup. Dan getting a 60-second VL1. He's not going to be happy with that. At this level of a tournament, I think players are probably looking for around 50 to 52 seconds.
Yep.
Sophie Jarm0u got a 54. So it looks like she made up about 6 seconds on that track.
So that puts her about 5.5 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's about 5 to 6 seconds on the fade in for Bouncer Castle 1. But she missed a zoom start, so there's about a second and a half given back. She did get a nice push from the CPUs. So here we're looking to see feathers, and we're looking to see people not jumping into the lava.
Yes.
Dan demonstrated the hot bath technique. It's probably not the best strat to employ on this track. But for all the time he may have lost on that trip into the lava, if he can pick up a feather, he'll make it back up. Wow. The kind of bumper spin out cancel.
Well, this track becomes very, very important because with two players of equal or near skill, there's literally very little time that can be made up on Mario Circuit 4. So it comes down realistically, 12 but for Sophie there.
Yeah,
it comes down to this track.
So I think for these players, they'd probably be looking for something mid to low 120s if they had a good run without a feather. If they get a feather, they might be looking to get into the 1-teens. Looks like at the moment Sophie's on a high 120 pace, maybe just into 130. It really depends on how well she gets through the womps. Whereas Dan is just looking to finish in the top 4 to not get ranked out. If Dan doesn't finish in the top 4, then he'll have to replay this track. The lightning helped. So safe with Jarm0u with the 130. Dan still has a lap to go, so realistically speaking, this cup is now over.
So yeah, the chances of bringing time back on MC4 is extremely slim. Oh,
MC4 you could maybe gain 4 or 5 seconds, depending if your opponent makes mistakes. You're not going to make up 20 odd seconds. This level of player will not rank out on MC4. The CPUs don't try particularly hard, so you're not going to get harassed much, except when you come around to lap them. So, without breaking the commentators' desire to hype this match up, and this cup could go either way, this cup really won't go either way.
Yeah, this cup is over.
So I think if Dan's watching, which I assume he is, he'll be mentally preparing himself probably for Special Cup now. Oh, Sophie with a lovely mushroom long boost. I never go for mushroom long boosts on this track because I find they lose me more time in the game. Having Mario does make it slightly easier to set up some of the mushroom long boosts. Simply because you turn in that a little bit tighter, and you can kind of control the angle to the wall a little bit nicer. So to do the mushroom long boost, basically you want to fire a mushroom into a wall, but before you hit the wall, you want to let go of the gas button, press the hop button so you hit the wall on the upwards trajectory, and then you'll bounce off the wall in an extended boost speed state. That'll keep you on an extended boost for probably a good 10 seconds on NTSC if you can really steer it. Well, 10 seconds on tracks where you go over bouncy parts. I don't know about flatline tracks, probably 4 or 5 seconds extended speed. But it will save you a good 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds when executing well.
Dan going on to his last lap there. And now for all the discussion that's been over the matches, people wondering why Mario was chosen, and I think that's a pretty good exhibition of it.
Yeah, so Mario has a slightly lower top speed, but the difference is quite small. You're talking maybe 1.5 to 2 seconds per minute of, if you were driving in a straight line at full speed, that would be the advantage that Bowser DK would pull out over Mario Luigi. But on these tracks, you're not driving full speed, flat out in a straight line. Mario has better turning, better acceleration, so any mistake, you'll accelerate back up to top speed faster. Some of the turns, which are very difficult or impossible to get around with DK Bowser, without letting go of the accelerator, you can force Mario through them at full speed. So there is, on most tracks, only a very small disadvantage with using Mario, and it's only a disadvantage if you're not playing perfectly. So both players setting their menu for Special Cup. This is the cup where I think we both were favouring Dan _H.
Yeah, even with that, in his match the other night, he had a few struggles with Special Cup. But I think he'll be fairly ready. I do make him the favourite for this, and then we go to Flower Cup.
It'll be Flower last if we need or it'll be Flower fourth if we need a fourth cup.
Yeah, and it's that's Stan's least favourite cup, and one of Sophie's best cups. So
yeah, Jarm0u is ultra consistent on Flower Cup. Everybody makes mistakes on Special Cup, even the likes of KVD and Lafongo make mistakes on this cup, so it's highly unlikely we'll see both players having a clean 5 races, both off to the zoom start at least. So the zoom start on the first track of every cup is easier than the zoom start on the other tracks, assuming that you finish in first each time. Simply because it's getting bullied by DK, yeah. If you're in 5th to 8th on the grid, you get 8 frames to hit your start boost. If you're in 1st to 4th, you get 4 frames. So you really shouldn't see any players missing the first boost of a cup, and it does get more difficult for the subsequent tracks. Okay, mushroom for Sophie. Will we see her go for the shroom? I personally would hold the mushroom to the last lap and just do it on the last lap. But we'll see what Jarm0u decides to do.
what we might see here now is a lap. Well, it's not a lap skip. Through this chicane there, you bounce over the water. We call it the Jesus shroom. Should be coming up fairly soon now. So
if she's going to go for it, she's going to go for it after this second bridge here. Yep, there she goes. She
failed. She jumped.
It looked to me like she pressed jump.
Yep.
So all you want to do is point the car in the correct direction and press shroom. And you'll auto bounce over the wall to the finish line. What Jarm0u did was she pressed the hot button, and pressing the hot button can get you a bounce off the water, but it kind of messes up Like on this track, you do not want to be pressing the jump button.
That's true. I have to laugh in chat there. Curry said, Bowser isn't fat, he's big shelled. I like that.
So, what's DK's excuse?
Bananas. Lots and lots of bananas.
So I have a hate-hate relationship with DK. He is the character. Most Super Mario Kart players hate Yoshi because Yoshi is tending to be the super CPU troll who snipes you on the head with eggs at any opportunity. But for me, it's DK. DK goes out of his way to barge me as I pass him. You might say, why don't I just choose DK then? He's as good as Bowser. The problem with choosing DK is that Bowser has by far the worst of the CPU items. Like a giant fireball which wanders left to right, has a massive hitbox. Oh, nice mushroom boost by Sophie, Jarm0u. I don't like where she used it though. I would always use it on the last corner of the lap rather than on the section just before the items. Simply because in NTSC 150 it'll carry you from that section all the way over all the water to finish. So it's another 4 seconds pulled out by Dan. So let's
about 11, 12 seconds. Looks about 11, 12 seconds in it now to Dan, but that's only one mistake.
Yeah, I get it just under 12. Looking at the fade outs. Yeah, pretty much exactly 12 when Sophie started and where Dan's timer was at. But Dan, Ghost Valley 3 is famous for having
platform jump in the game.
Yeah, he will tell you over and over again that Jarm0u is using his platform jump in the game. So to see him, I suppose he at least fell off after making the platform jump. That green shell is in a nasty position for Dan. In GP, I think the game can only hold two items on track at a time. So what he probably looked to do is drop this green shell rather than throw it off. I personally would try and despawn that green shell, which is in the awkward position, but he's kind of happy leaving it there. So Dan's going to come around with a 113. So Jarm0u's going to have made up a few seconds here, despite some of the issues that she was having earlier.
Gets about 2 seconds, well, 1.5 to 2 seconds back there.
Yeah, so it's still going to be a 10-second lead to Dan.
Excuse me.
So Vanilla Lake 2. The polar opposite of Vanilla Lake 1. On this track, all you do is turn left a few.
And around a few times.
Absolutely nothing more to this track than just turning left a few times.
And here we go again with Dan, completely... This same. Dan's pad is fairly unreliable. He just went completely out of control and went square to the right there. Yeah. And a drown.
And another drown. And Jarm0u having issues getting through the narrow gap. To me, it's looking like both players are playing a little nervous. Oh.
And he's going to have a problem with that banana. Oh, he barely got through that banana.
Yeah, he's not. His pad doesn't seem to be letting him straighten up a lot of the times.
No.
I think he needs to be hopping a lot more. If you are having issues with your pad letting you straighten up, just hop. Like, don't stop hopping. Hopping doesn't lose you speed. So yeah, he's hopping now a lot more in that section. Nasty bounce off the pipe. I mean, why there's a pipe there, I have no idea. They've already lifted the track.
Sophie's going to take the lead here.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't cost her too much stuff.
So hopefully Mario doesn't turn invincible last second. But that's a big turnaround. So from a 10-second lead, we've seen Dan lose about 17 seconds on that track. So I'll give Sophie something in the region of a 7 second lead.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Dan in chat is that saying that's a hell of a time for his R button to stick. But now, same again, one mistake by Sophie here.
But at the moment, Dan is still within feather range. Oh, and talking about the feather.
Sophie gets the feather. La plume.
So the feather basically lets you cut out about half of the last lap. It'll reduce the lap down from being about 14 seconds long to being about 7 seconds long. You can do that on any lap, in that the game allows you to do it, but we've banned doing the feather finish except for lap 5, because if you did it on one of the earlier laps, you would not only trigger the next lap, but you'd also, Lakitu would warp you back to where you were. So you'd essentially not just finish the lap you're on, but cut out half of the next lap as well. So
Better for
Dan
Dan.
has the feather.
Oh, he falls off.
Yeah. So falling off once probably isn't that bad for Dan, because he needs Sophie to miss the feather anyway. So
Sophie, even the score, she fell off as well.
yeah, but with his only chances if Sophie misses the feather, which would account to a fall off anyway. So if Sophie going for the Jarm0u feather finish,
going.
missed it.
Failed.
Missed it.
Dan
Takes
gets it.
with an 8:28. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Oh wow.
I get to press the button, and we have a match on our hands. It's now Jarm0u 2, Dan H 1.
If anybody out there thinks this game is fairly straightforward, just look at that finish. That was, both fell off. One went for feather ahead, missed. Player behind hits feather. Bang, 2-1.
So
we have a match.
I didn't like the way that Jarm0u set up her feather.
Did she aim too straight at the line?
Too straight. So I find it easier if you go from the green boxes. If you go for the green boxes, feather and just hold right the entire way, you should easily cross over the finish line. If you try and go too straight, you kind of have to time when you press right, because if you go too straight and hold right while you do it, you'll go to the right of the finish line before crossing the part where it extends. So she was leaving herself to have to kind of time when to press right, and obviously I think she pressed it probably too late, given by how straight she went on it. Whereas the angle Dan took was a lot more kind of like automatic, just feather and hold right the whole way through. So both of the players have readied up in chat. We're moving on to Flower Cup, which was the cup which Dan, as the lowest seed, pushed back to be played fourth. He's not a fan.
Okay, both players are ready here now. So I'm just going to give the countdown.
So I've played Jarm0u many a time on Flower Cup, and pretty much this is in 2-player multiplayer. Pretty much every time we play, I beat her on Choco Island 1, and then she beats me on the next 4 tracks. This is when we're playing for points. Like Choco Island 1, she tends to have errors on it, but the other 4 tracks she tends to not have any errors. So she's very, very difficult to play against in Flower Cup. So we should be seeing them starting off any second now. Hopefully they should still be synced up. Yep, there they go. They're still in sync.
Nice.
So Jarm0u is staying with Mario. She uses Mario for every cup except for Mushroom. Dan sticking with Bowser on every cup. Both should get the zoom start. Yep. So we're looking for mushrooms and feathers. Dan straight off with the feather. It'll be interesting to see whether he uses it or whether he keeps it for the last lap. I have a feeling he'll just use it.
Didn't use it on
Yeah.
his first opportunity there. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to use it the first time because you want to specifically set the boost up ready to use it. So by the time you see you've got a feather, it's kind of difficult to generate the boost to get to the line on that same lap. Oh, as we see here now, he tried to do it on the same lap and didn't get the boost because it was a rushed movement. So he lost time with that feather. I mean, his lap might be about at the same time, but he'll have lost time in the next lap because he entered it at such a slow speed. So Jarm0u's picking up 4 seconds on Dan, despite Dan having 2 feathers.
Which is very, very surprising.
So for me on Chuckle Island 1, if I get a feather, I just save it for the last lap. You can quite easily get around a 45-second time doing that kind of strat. So I mean,
Sophie all the way through. Sophie was doing the wall hops, so
I personally would also go for the wall hops on every lap that the CPUs aren't in that area. So Ghost Valley 2 is possibly my second least favourite track in the entire game. It looks like it should be incredibly simple. The only problem is that the CPUs drive incredibly slowly, and the way CPUs are programmed, they slow down for corners. So for over half of this track, you're just constantly overtaking CPUs, slowing down right in front of you when you hit a corner. And if you catch them on the entry to a corner, they can almost near stop, and it makes overtaking them very difficult in places. Jarm0u getting through nice and clean with a 51. Dan with a 56, dropping another 5 seconds. So I think we're looking at something like 10 seconds between the two players now.
It's looking close enough to that, all right. Still it can change.
Yes. I mean, Donut Plains 2 here can go wrong. Bowser Castle 2, the following track, can go spectacularly wrong. It's very easy to just catch a little bit of grass on this track, and that'll slow you down and it will make you turn tighter. That can either cause you to turn straight into the water or turn too soon on the hairpin and not make it around the hairpin. Like this section is very easy to catch grass. And this part here as well. You don't want to catch any grass on the outside.
If people now watch on the right hand side, just watch how smooth and consistent Jarm0u is going with Mario there.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks where I wish you could choose characters for each track. Because I'd choose Mario and Luigi for this track any day of the week. Because these corners just don't quite work with DK Bowser. You really kind of have to force them around and then force the boost out before you're even certain that it's generated. So you'll sometimes see a Bowser DK player on that section where Jarm0u just went around, flying wildly out to the right in the grass. And that's because they thought they turned enough to generate a boost. But when they went to activate it, they hadn't. And so no boost generated, so they didn't kind of cancel out their momentum, and it just keeps them flying out to the right. I mean, sub 120 from Jarm0u is a really good time.
And the consistency of the splits there are really, really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, anything sub 120 on DP2.
Very, very good.
Especially in a race format like this where nerves come into the equation. Honestly, I think anything sub 125 I'd be happy with. And straight away, Jarm0u with the feather. Let's see which of the feather shortcuts she goes for. I personally keep my feather to the last lap to do the finish line feather jump.
14 seconds in it.
I think the first corner feather is probably out of the equation as a Mario player. I don't know how easily Mario would make it across that gap. The easy feather is almost pointless using. And then you have things like the alternate finish further, which Jarm0u's Firewasted
The coach better.
demonstrated early on. That's a very old school feather which you used to see quite often in PAL match race. Back in the old World Championship days before we really started embracing this finish line feather. So it looks to me like Jarm0u is holding his feather to lap 5. If she's watching the restream or watching Dan's stream,
She shouldn't go for it.
I don't think she will go for it.
Oh!
That was a snipe.
That was a snipe and a half. Now this might put her slightly under the pressure. Oh, and a mistake. She's not going to have the speed for this now, I don't think.
Yeah, she does. You can generate. She'll be at it with enough speed, but whether she has the confidence to go for it.
Go. No. Oh, this is a big swing.
Just missed it.
This is a big swing. It looks like Dan now. Has Dan taken the lead? No. Has he done his last lap?
Yes, he has, by 2 seconds. Oh no.
No,
I got a whole another lap.
Look at a whole lap.
I wasn't watching his stream. I was just looked at his timer and assumed he was on the last lap.
He had many hot pats and wall crashes through this run, so wow.
You don't often see times around the 2 minutes here.
Unless I'm doing it. What are you doing?
I think he was trying to get to 2 minutes there. I think that's a bit of a give up at the finish line there by Dan, really. I mean, if he'd known how bad it had gone for Jarm0u, maybe he would have kept going a bit more, because he was only really like that 1 lap behind, and it's unlikely that Jarm0u will get into massive draws here, but it only takes a mini shroom to land on your head, to drive around small fridges, to get squashed at the end of it, to find yourself with no coins, to have CPUs bashing you. I would never count anybody out in this game while they're only a lap or so behind, because the CPUs, when they decide to troll, they can troll hard.
I hope Sophie's stream stays with this right till the end. This infinite boost that she does, she's literally like a ballerina here. It's like wall crash. Jinx, yeah. The first few that she done there were really beautiful.
So what you're seeing on Jarm0u's side is, off the final turn, she's generating a boost, driving over the zipper while in a boost state, which puts her into an infinite boost state. Unfortunately, although the boost is infinite, you still have to be able to turn it around the corners, and the hairpin is just too tight for Mario to get round. So you only really get to use that infinite boost for about half of the lap each lap. But 1:22 is still a very good time for Mario Circuit 3 from Sophie, and an 8:46 on the timer will be
her timer was late there. It looked about 8:40.
So with Dan still going over the 9-minute mark, that is enough for Jarm0u to take the win. So unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to Dan_H as a competitor for the rest of this tournament. That's his second loss, and in a double elimination tournament, he is now eliminated. Jarm0u, however, progresses through to the last 8. She'll be into losers round 4, where she will face the winner of myself and Kart 44, who will be playing tomorrow. And I said it was the end of Dan_H as a competitor. He will be on comms for that match, so he will be back. And a bit of a switcheroo.
How are you feeling about that match?
I've done 0 practice this week. In fact, my practice this week has been playing online PAL battle mode.
Okay. So for tomorrow's match, I make Mal the favourite.
To be honest, I'm going to put a few hours in tomorrow afternoon, so I'll be hopefully better than on my last display. So I need to mark these players as done, and hopefully we'll get one or both in for an interview, because we still have 10 minutes left on our allotted time here. So we have keep an eye out on the Discord to see who's going to pop up. Yeah, we have a Triple D match tomorrow. We have David versus Dave with Dan on the comms.
Yo,
And
yo,
speaking of
yo!
Dan,
Hi, Dan.
What's up, everybody?
you're glad it's over?
Well, this match kind of went exactly how I thought it would go. I mean, I figured I hate Flower Cup, so I banned it. I figured I would have to get one win out of either Mushroom or Star, which was unlikely, and then I could win Special Cup. But, I mean, I barely won Special Cup. I had to have Sophie fail a feather, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Badly.
talking about Sophie failing a feather, Jarm0u, congratulations.
Hello, thank you. very much.
Congratulations,
I was
Sophie.
So nervous. Thank you. And good game, Dan. Wow.
Word.
The panic.
So, Jarm0u,
Yeah.
you need to practice some of your items.
I was so
Special
nervous.
Cup.
I just, I usually don't waste them like that. I can
So-
do them, but I was just so nervous. I was playing nonsense.
Like Donut Plains 3, you press jump with your mushroom. You don't press jump.
I like I told you, I was so nervous that I completely forgot I shouldn't have done that at all.
I'll give you props for still going for Bowser Castle 2 because you would have had enough speed to make it. I mean, it was just slightly offline, but it was good.
Yeah.
Good that you at least went for that one.
I really lost my brain on those items.
Yeah,
Maybe
we were
there
saying
was
that
a
we don't
French-
think you were
French
going to go
RNG,
for.
but Belgian exec-
Yeah, Bowser Castle 2, we both said we don't think you'll go for it because you're so far ahead, and then you proceeded to go twice into the lava in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, no, that was terrible. I really don't know how I could just win that match. I made so many mistakes. So, wow. That
Yeah,
special cup was
it's all about who you were playing. That's how you won. I mean, there's no doubt about it that you're better than I am, but you know.
Oh, that was not what could be seen tonight.
And Dan, I want to see you
Well-
fixing your controller before you play VL2 again.
You
Yeah,
had issues
so
with your controller.
very interesting. So about 3 weeks ago, I bought a couple of controllers online, made in China instead of Japan. That's the problem. So the first controller that I tried, on the D-pad, right would stick. So I would try to counter steer left, and I would keep steering right. And I actually was using that controller for my seeding run, and that's
We
why.
saw that. Yeah.
So it was like after Flower Cup, I'm like, I cannot use this controller anymore. It isn't steering correctly for me. So I quick switched out to my old, original with the system from 1992 controller that I can't do any boosts with. I can't zigzag boost at all. So I have to race it like exclusively non-NBT with that controller. Anywho, so I took the second controller, which the R button didn't actually work, like the post that pressed the R button down to actually hit the thing, like it wasn't long enough. So I had to take the R button out of the other controller that the right stuck and put it into that one, and then it started working. But then on this, like today on Vanilla Lake 2, my brother was here. I had fished, I had gone ice fishing with him, caught like 45 keepers, by the way, so gonna brag myself up a little bit
So
this morning.
your
And
freezer's going to be full.
so he was kind of sitting next to me and ribbing me while I raced and making fun of me as I crashed all the time. And I'm like, look at this, I'm just mashing the R button and I'm not jumping at all. On Vanilla Lake 2, I'm like, this can't be happening right now. I cannot jump, I can't do anything. And then I kind of smacked it against my hand a few times after I drowned, and then I finally got my R button back in time for Rainbow Road. But that was after like 1:16 Vanilla Lake 2, which is just hideous. I mean,
But
come on.
You still won special.
Yeah.
Somehow, some
Oh.
way.
Dan, we just have a question in chat from KVD.
Sure.
If PL2 was an ice fish, which fish would it be?
Oh my god. The Vanilla Lake 2 would be a sunfish. It's little, it's kind of annoying, but it's if you get a good enough one, it's pretty awesome.
So, Sophie, Jarm0u,
Yeah.
who do you want
Yes.
in the next round?
Sorry.
Who do you want to play in the next round?
No,
Do you want to know your choices?
It's you, no? Isn't
It's
it?
either me or the legend, Bowser Kart 44.
Oh, and how come I have no? I have a choice. Do I? You have to play. Oh, that's
Yeah, we
okay.
play tomorrow, but like,
I'm
who would you
sorry,
rather
I'm
play?
just I'm a bit cloudy. Oh, I think I would be very pleased to face you.
Yeah.
Not that I assume that I beat you, not at all, but I
Well,
think it
whenever
will
I
be
play you, I
an
assume that you're going to beat me. So.
No, I don't think so. No, I think it's gonna be a very enjoyable match.
And we're going to have Dan_H on the comms for that one at 5 p.m. EST tomorrow. I think that's the
Nice.
only other scheduled match at the moment.
Oh, that's true, and I think I'm going to comment on the French stream. So if there are French people in the chat that want to hear it in French, well, feel free to join the channel.
Okay, well, if you want a French interview afterwards, I can always come in.
Oh yes, please.
I'd just like to clarify to the millions and millions of people out there watching that's Jarm0u isn't actually French. She's just francophone. She's a Belgish person
Yeah.
from the lands of beer.
Yeah.
But I think with only a couple of minutes left, we're probably going to have to wrap this one up. So, just going to. Any last words from anybody?
Wow. I don't know. Sorry for missing the entire set of items. That was not a. That was some show. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoyed watch me fail. Thank you for watching.
It was an enjoyable match all the way through from both of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
just
for the
said
comment,
putain.
guy, and good GG then. Sorry, what?
Putain le vert. Or le
Oh my god,
rouge.
I'm pretty sure you could have heard me scream when I failed. I yelled so hard that my roommate came in the living room to see if I was okay.
Okay, so going to wrap it up there as we're pretty much out of time. To say congratulations to Jarm0u, who will be progressing. Dan_H is now eliminated, but it's been great watching you. McNuggets on the co-commentary with all the lovely information being thrown around.
Cheers,
Especially
Mal.
since
Really enjoyed it.
I tend to not really take too much account of what's going on the screen. And that's it for today. Next match, Jarm0u versus Bowser Kart 44. I believe that's going to be over on SpeedGaming 2 tomorrow at 5 o'clock EST.
Good luck in that match, Mal. Very best of luck. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Okay. And
Dave
goodbye
versus
to all the lovely people, the millions upon millions who've been watching.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching, and see you very soon. Good luck with your match tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Right.